LFC Daytrippers, brought to you by bookmakers.com.
Good evening, welcome to Premier League Forecast, sponsored by bookmakers.com. It's me, Chris, back. Gary Neville, superfan Kev O'Sullivan's back. And we're with Defoe and we're with Ben. How are we all doing?
Fantastic. Fantastic to be back on again.
Jolly good.
Can't complain.
Unlike
Look a bit happier than last time.
Yeah, unlike Arsenal, who have managed to throw the league, I believe, in the last 3 games. Kev, how many draws can you do?
Man, in fairness, they struggled to get a draw out of tonight, but that was that's it. It's out of their hands now, and that's the worst place for them to be. They had it in their hands; it was in their control, and they fluffed it. I mean, look, they're a young squad, a young side. They'll be better for it, but right now, they're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater, and they bottled it tonight.
We've been on the receiving end, Kev, haven't we? These draws just feel like losses because when City get momentum, they're really hard to stop, and it's just it's a bit soul destroying at times. When you're in the mix of it, you know.
It's not Arsenal, so I don't care.
I know. I'd rather be in it than not be in it. To be fair, but you know, not just saying don't write them off. I agree with Anthony. They're very much Liverpool 13-14. I think they are. I think they've just run out of steam. I don't think they've got they've got a better foundation to build up from. Yeah. The key is to keep that squad together.
They have to keep the nuts and bolts of it together and add a couple of bits of quality here and there for sure.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Somebody put Anthony on mute there, will you, please? If you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much.
Nice mate, that's going to stick, you know. That
it is going to stick eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Big Nev. I'll have to get you that. Get that back in shit, you Big Nev. Right, so where should we start, Kev? Should we start Prem or should we go with the FA Cup? The FA Cup weekend?
Yeah, FA Cup weekend. Look, first semi-final, that should be a cakewalk for Man City. But
should we just do a quick fast score for that one then? Because let's be honest, nobody cares about Man City. So
I think they'll make.
So it's such a boring conversation because we're all going to probably go.
They'll make a load of changes. Yeah, they'll make a load of changes, but they should have enough. But in fairness, you've seen sides before look past others in games, and Sheffield United won't be looking past anyone. They'll give it a right go. And
but their two main defenders are out injured. Well, one's out injured. One's wife's expected a baby, and then 2 of their main players are on loan from City, so can't play.
Can't play, but it's one of those. If you look past them, City could slip up. This has got banana skin written all over it for their treble dreams. You know, this has big banana skin written all over it, but I don't expect them to slip up.
So
I think they'll win it. I think they'll 2-0. I think they'll manage it. It'll be one of those, they'll manage the game with the ball and rest players on the ball kind of thing. But I'd love to see Sheffield United score first and make City work for it. That's all you can hope for.
Ben, what are you thinking? I've got 4-0 City. I can't even be bothered doing an analysis with City. 4-0 City, it's what they do.
Listen to me, I want Sheffield United to get absolutely battered. That's simple as that. Because, I want them to I don't remember when Man City beat Burnley. Was it 7-0?
Yeah.
I think it was. And I hate 5 teams and Sheffield United are in there. So I hope Man City's back when Haaland scores another 5 goals. Okay. 7-0. 7-0 Man City.
Defoe, you go for a full house?
I was going to go unironically go for 6-0. So yeah, why not?
Okay, there we go. We've previewed one so far. Let's go to semi-final that we think will be a bit more fun. Brighton versus Man United. Defoe, we'll start with you. Man United were absolutely horrendous against Seville because I don't think Seville did anything particularly special But United just made it very easy. De Gea had an absolute nightmare. And Brighton had a week to prepare. Brighton in really good form. Only concern for them is a couple of doubts around Ferguson and Veltman. And that's probably the only real worry for them, is because I think Ferguson's key for them.
Yeah, I mean, the problem now for United is they might actually catch a cold against Brighton. They've got to try and get a reaction. The Seville game was severely disappointing. I know Ten Hag wanted to win that because that guarantees the Champions League spot, takes a little bit of pressure off him in the league. But Brighton have just done incredible. We all thought Graham Potter was this absolute genius of a football manager until he went to Chelsea, and then he's lost his stock. But De Zerbi's gone in there and just really took it onto a whole nother level. They're playing some incredible stuff. I reckon they'll probably nick it. I think I'm going for 2-1 Brighton. I am.
Cool. Ben, how are you seeing this one? I'm looking forward to this game, actually.
You know what? I think it's going to be a good game. Like Brighton, they're doing well. Man U has lost to Seville. But I personally think Man U will just edge it. Like 2-1. Man United, or even 3-2. So I think I'll say Man U 3-2. It's going to be a high-scoring game, I think. But I think Man U will just edge it 3-2.
Okay. Kev, so, we'll talk about the Seville game for a minute, because Seville's record in that competition is ridiculous. Once they get to that point in the competition, the quarterfinals, they always get to the final. Yeah, that's their record. It's unreal. They're just like a different thing.
It's one of those, isn't it?
Seville, I think the guy who scored the second goal for Seville, wasn't he on loan at Forest at the start of the season?
Yes, Luke Bode. He never played.
As I say, couldn't get a game, and now he's in a Europa League semi-final. It's bizarre how football works sometimes.
He wasn't good enough. There's everyone, because he scored against Seville, and now everyone's putting it in that out. Why is he not playing for Forest?
No, just more of it's just the way football works. We had it with what's his face, Nuri Sahin. Couldn't get a game for Liverpool, couldn't get to work. He ended up playing the Champions League final 6 months later.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. It's just the way football works sometimes. It's like one player's work for Liverpool, but then they end up playing in European finals. It's always good to see.
Choupo-Moting cut his teeth at Stoke. Look at him now. The man with the best agent, best agent in world football, without a doubt.
Oh, and DT LFC saying Maguire suspended. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if it's a bad thing, really, to be honest.
Do you know what? Against Brighton, it probably isn't, because they're not going to go aerial. They're not going to go direct. So having a more mobile fullback playing at centre back probably benefits.
It'll probably Luke Shaw at.
It'll more likely be Luke Shaw, yeah. But at the same time, Patsy was saying there that Ewan Ferguson isn't is a lot of hype. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's got all the tools in the locker to be really special. He's 6 foot. He's big. He's broad. He's quick. He's intelligent. His touch is really good. He's 18 years of age.
That's what I mean.
It's his first season in the Premier League, and I think he could do with staying at Brighton for a couple of seasons, to be honest. But a lot of big clubs are going to be sniffing around him very soon. Mitoma is an absolute. I love watching Mitoma play. I love that.
Villa wants him in the summer, don't they, for 40 million?
Yeah. You ain't getting Mitoma out of Brighton for 40 million. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Not with their director of football.
In fairness, he's one of those wingers that he's a traditional winger. He loves standing his fullback up, taking him on, going past him, delivering a ball. He's got a goal in him as well. So he's a hybrid, really, of the modern day fullback, the modern day winger who can cut inside and get a goal, and the old traditional winger who can go on the outside. He's a lovely footballer. Then you've got the Caicedo and McAllister. The only thing you look at Brighton is they do ship goals. For all of their attacking intent, they're a lovely side going forwards. They can ship a goal here and there. And United are very good on the counter, irrespective of what happened last night. They're capable of stringing counters together. So it's going to be a fascinating game. I think there'll be the odd goal in it. I'd go for Brighton 3-2. But I just hope that Brighton can manage the occasion. Getting into a cup semi-final for a lot of these players, bar McAllister, is going to be huge. It's huge for the club. It's just a culmination of the years and years of work that Brighton have done since they left the Sixfields. moved to the new stadium, evolved the side, evolved the squad, got into the league, developed a pattern of play and a way of playing that's exciting, open, attractive. De Zerbi deserves this to get to a final, and maybe in the season with a cup. That I hope they go on and do something special this season. That squad deserves it for the way they play. They're really, really good.
Because the only concern for Brighton is, it's just we've seen it before. We've all seen this before. Kev, is when a side like that does so well is people try and pick the players off in the summer. Now listen, they've got a very, very strong director of football, which if people do pick them off, they're not getting them cheap. But that's probably the only concern for them. I've got Brighton to win 2-1, but in added time. I think I could see this going another 30 minutes because I just think it. But I do think I do think as a game it'll be exciting.
Yeah,
they do really well, don't they? These two together. They have some quite good games together.
It should be a good game to watch. I mean, this is Manchester United season now. They have to get top four with where they are at the minute. If for any reason Brighton beat them and Manchester United fall out of the top four, which is possible, the way that there's no consistency from sides outside of probably one or two. Could you imagine the backlash that will come for Ten Hag if they fall out of the top four and he doesn't bag anything again? What's changed?
We all know what will happen. They'll just blame the owners.
Oh yeah,
the manager won't get any blame for this.
Oh, I don't know.
Whereas I think the answer is probably in the middle. It's a bit of both, but
yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry. The thing is with the owners of Manchester United, and it kind of roils me a bit. Manchester United's owners have given them money to spend hand over fist. The fact that they've spent it badly is not on the Glazers from a money point of view. It's on the Glazers for not appointing a director of football who knows what they're doing. There is nothing that in Manchester United's transfer market business in the last 3 years that says they haven't been given funds to spend. They have.
I think it's where
they spent it badly. They spent it so badly.
Yeah, I think it's offloading money and piling debt so much. I don't think is the ideal, is it? There probably could have been a bit more of a happy medium. But yeah, some of it was also but again, the structure I would say Man United behind the scenes just looks me outside
horrific.
A shambles.
Horrific. Are you not enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it?
Not this year, no, because we're shite, so we don't enjoy it.
I was thinking, what you not hate Man U, but you like we feel sorry for it.
No, we don't feel sorry for it. We're just sort of saying it out as it is, but it's hard to enjoy it when your own team's. Well, we are horrendous this year, aren't we, Kev? Very inconsistent. We'll come to Liverpool. There's plenty of things we can talk about with Liverpool, which aren't great. But yeah, so I've got 2-1 Brighton. So, Jafar, let's talk about Wolves. Give us a bit of a summary. How you concerned, frustrated? How would you sort of sum up Wolves?
I think if you'd have asked me 3 weeks ago, I'd have probably said bordering on concerned. But the last two results have been perfect. They've come at the right time. We're playing good football. We've took the game to teams. The Chelsea game, great result. I know Chelsea are not in a great shakes, but they should have had that bounce. I mean, Lampard came back. He was the saviour.
He set a record, though, wasn't he?
It's horrendous. I don't know what.
First Chelsea manager in 118 years to lose his first 4 games, apparently. And his record at the moment is 1 win in 18.
It couldn't happen to a nicer bloke, could it?
No.
He's a word. He's not a manager. When he was at Derby, because of his name, everyone thought, he's a fantastic manager. Yeah, he got into the playoffs, lost in the playoff final, and look what he's done. What has he done for the rest of his manager career? Absolutely nothing.
You're not wrong.
No, he's done nothing.
But yeah, it was a great result against Chelsea. Great, and then Brentford. I think we all thought the Brentford game was going to be a lot harder than the Chelsea game, and it just we played even better. We nullified Ivan Toney. It was the first time I've seen that happen all season, where somebody's just bullied him all game, and we just, like I say, we hit the vein of form at the right time. I reckon we probably only need one more win now, and we're safe in the league. I think 37 will probably be enough.
Good.
So if we can do that against Leicester, I'll be happy.
So, all being well, you get the win you need in the Prem next year. What does your squad need Or what?
Oh, it's a tough one, really. I mean, we can see Ruben Neves probably going this summer now. I think this is going to be it. I think they're prepared for it with the players that they bought in. Mario Lemina and Joe Gomez have done ever so well in the last couple of games as Ruben's been suspended. But the key area for Wolves is always going to be strikers. It never changes since Raul has had his head injury. We just haven't scored enough goals. We had that pretty awful stat recently where we'd gone a full calendar year without a forward scoring.
Yeah. You were unlucky because you did sign a new forward, and unfortunately, he did his ACL in his first game, which that's when you looked on it. Because I know you've brought in Diego Costa got his first goal for you. Was it last week?
Yeah,
yeah. I think he's going to be there. Traore, isn't he at the end of his contract? Or is it soon?
Yeah, so Traore, Semedo, and Giammattino are all out of contract in the summer. So it could be a very interesting summer for rebuilding. I mean, I hope we stay in the league. I'm very confident now. But it's going to be Lopetegui's chance to really build that team. We've seen a very much a shift in the philosophy of the club and the way that we're playing football. To something a little bit more progressive and a little bit more Spanish in its style and its foundations. So it's only looking up, really. It just he needs time now to instill that philosophy and bring in the players that can do it for him. Because there's a lot of players there that are still there from Nuno's days, and that seems like a millennium ago now.
Yeah. The young lad Gomez that you brought in the January window. He's only a young kid, but how has he evolved? Because he looks a player.
Well, I've been sort of gentle with him and brought him in for 10 minutes, 20 minutes here and there. But he's done brilliantly with Neves out the last couple of games. I mean, against Chelsea, he was all over the pitch. I think he was still marking some of the Chelsea players as they were getting onto the coach. He was that busy. But he's done brilliantly. I mean, for anyone who's coming over and has only ever played his young career and in Brazil and he's coming to England, it's going to be difficult for him, even just like the physical nature of the Premier League is hard to adapt to. But we've been lucky, we've got Cunha, we've got Diego Costa and all the Portuguese lads as well. So having that sort of language barrier broken down as soon as you come into the club does help. And he has settled in and the lad's got a very, very bright future. And if you can keep going and keep progressing, he's going to be a top player in the years to come.
Awesome. How are you feeling about Leicester then?
Do we have to talk about Leicester?
Yeah, you're next, Ben. God, everyone we picked, Ben hates. We're doing well so far. He's on the 5-hand list. God, we'll get to the list.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't hate Leicester. It's just a team that if we hate Derby and they want to come in the middle between us. It's just like a little kid across the street saying, "Can we join in the rivalry?" I'm like, nah, keep walking on. It's one of the teams no one cares about. Do you know what I mean?
Man City. Anyway, back to Leicester. I'm sure I'm going to get clipped up for this at some point, but never mind.
Yeah, I mean, Leicester, yeah. It's difficult for them. I mean, they've just literally, since the restart, I think they've probably had the worst form in the league, I think. And it shows, they've sleepwalked into that position where they are now. They've got a team there that in theory should be finishing top half of the table every season. No problems, no questions asked. But the thing is, it's stagnated. Brendan had been there for a long time, and they hadn't really refreshed the squad.
Yeah, I think that's the key word, stagnated, because it does look like a few of those players probably should have been cashed in on just to replenish it more than anything else. Kev will talk about our club. We've got a similar problem in the middle of the park. It's gone stale.
But the one thing I'd say is Leicester remind me an awful lot of how Southampton went when Southampton stopped being a selling club. Southampton were at their best when they were churning over a player a year. They were selling a big player every year and replenishing the squad with younger players to develop, and they were getting top half finishes most seasons. Leicester, in some ways, it'll give them the best moments of their lives, the winning the league, but they also went away from what got them there. Was selling a Harry Maguire, selling a big player, a Kante, to replenish the squad and get into Europe, try and maintain a footing in Europe. And they had a couple of runs at top four and they finished just outside. but they kept hold of players that they really should have cashed in on. The likes of Harvey Barnes for one, Yuri Tillemans for one. They should never have been allowed to stay at the club as long as they have, because it starved them of money. They're all big earners. They're all on big wages. And that sucks some money out of the club, because it's the one thing with a wage bill, it's money gone out the door that you'll never see again. At least with a transfer fee, you can use that money back into regrow the club. And Leicester have gone away from that motto massively, and it's crippling them now. There's too many players sniffing themselves, looking for moves, entitled, the we're too good to go down attitude. They're not. And if Wolves stick the boot in, like I hope they do, then they're in deep trouble. Deep trouble. And they don't look like they've got the balls to fight for it. They look like they're just a busted flush. They're beaten. If they go one down, they don't have the guts to fight back. And if that club goes down, I think they could be in a very similar situation to Everton. That if they go down, they could. I don't think they'll keep going, but I don't think they bounce back. I genuinely don't. I think they're in serious trouble.
Ben, how are you seeing this one, Wolves and Leicester?
When we played Wolves, like I said, when we drew 1-1 at the seat ground, like they're a good side. Wolves are. For Leicester, I think Leicester are even worse. So I personally think if Wolves win, Leicester they're definitely safe. And Leicester's for me, I'm not saying it because, like I said, East Midlands team, but I think they'll go down. They're just a poor team, and do I think the new manager bounce will work? Not really. So I personally think Wolves will edge this. Really easy to compare.
Okay, what's what you go for?
I think Wolves will win easy 3-1.
3-1. Yeah. Before what you going?
I'll go 2-1. I can't see us scoring 3.
Well, Leicester might help you out.
We did it against a team from the Northwest this season once, but that was about it. But we're going to repeat that.
Mr. O'Sullivan, what are you going for?
I think Wolves win 2-0. I think as long as they say Wolves stay in good shape, they'll eventually open Leicester up. And like I said, Leicester don't have the balls for the fight. I think they're in savage trouble now.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 Wolves as well.
The thing is, you bring back Dean Smith, you bring in John Terry, and you're getting the band back together with Craig Shakespeare. Okay. What the hell are you trying to achieve? It's just like, would nobody else take it? Because they interviewed a fair few before Dean Smith said yes. That tells me everything.
And Dean Smith agreed, said, I'll just take it in the season as well. So don't worry if you're in a championship, it's not my problem. So
that tells you everything.
So let's talk about the relegation battle, because there are quite a few games that all have big ramifications. So Southampton have got a 3-3 draw with Arsenal, despite being 3-1 up. So I think they're probably kicking themselves a little bit, because they were literally 5 minutes away from 3 massive points, which would have closed the gap to getting out of the bottom 3 to 1 point. Now the gap's still 3. But the other games we've got Fulham against Leeds, we've got Palace via Everton, Bournemouth and West Ham, which feels like a massive game, and then the game we'll do at the end, we've got Forest Liverpool. How are we feeling about the relegation battle in general? Who do we think's gone? Let them be. Who do you think's going to get dragged into it? I'll start with you, Ben.
Thanks, Chris.
I thought you'd welcome. Oh hell,
Listen let's keep it real. We're in big trouble. Our form's not been great. Last win was against Leeds, I think it was, at City Ground, 1-0. And we're in this bad patch. We keep losing, especially our away form. Away form was dreadful. We won one game, and that's away to Southampton. We still got a good home form, but we lost to Man United, and I think it was Newcastle at City Ground. But it's going to be difficult. Can we stay up? We got the worst running we've got the worst running out of all the teams in that mini league. As you know, like Wolves, Bournemouth, West Ham, maybe they get 1 point and they're staying up. So we've got to focus on, like I said, it's a good result for us for Arsenal drawing with Southampton and teams like Leicester, Leeds. Who else there? Southampton. Who's the other one? I don't know who the other one is.
The bottom three are Leicester, Southampton, and yourselves. Everton is just above.
Everton as well. Everton as well.
Everton's run's not great. I think Leeds. I think we've said this, Kev. Leeds is running. Leeds need to be safe by the end of this month because their running in May is City, United, Chelsea, It's Leeds
West Ham.
West
Ham in their second last game of the season. But I'm looking at Forest running here. They've got us tomorrow. Then they've got Brighton at home on Wednesday night. Brentford away. Southampton at home on Monday Night Football. Then it's Chelsea away. Arsenal at home, and Palace is the last game of the season. That's a difficult run of fixtures.
It is on paper, but the one thing you would say is, if you look at Brentford, their form in the last 6 games is good. I think the last 6 games they're like 15th. They've only won 1 game in the last 6. So
that's why you got to look at it,
and it's at home, which is where Forest get all the points. So maybe that's a game. There's certain games there you probably target.
Yeah, I think you got to look at it. You've got Brighton at home 2 days after the cup final. You don't know what you're going to get, but being at home, that's something you have to target. Brentford could be on the beach. Southampton will be fighting for their lives. That's going to be a massive game.
Yeah,
Chelsea are on the beach. Arsenal, God knows, because by then they could be out of the title race completely, and they're just like playing to the end of the season, safe as houses, and you never know. And Palace away, last game of the season. That could be a must get something out of. That might be a must win. That might be a must win game for Forest.
But again, when you're playing Palace last game of the season, Palace could also be very
Palace
Roy
could
Hodgson.
be
very Roy Hodgson on the beach. We're done then, and Roy Hodgson has that history of his teams that once they're done, that's us done for the season.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Yeah. So, does that make you feel any better, Ben?
No.
Okay, we tried.
Tried.
Yeah, but if you look at the teams around us, Southampton's, I feel like they're pretty close to being gone because a 4-point gap now is quite a hard turnover, especially when you've got 3 teams above you to chase. Leicester, I just don't know what they're going to. I just don't know what to expect from Leicester. If it's Leicester with Brendan Rodgers, I just go they're probably down because they just look done. Will they get any managed bounds? Not
Leicester's saving grace, I suppose, is the fact they'd scored 41 goals. They have a plus 14 goal difference, so they can score. But I think if the longer Harvey Barnes is not in that side, then you would worry for them. And they just look shaky. They really do. Everton they're
the opposite. They can't score.
They can't score. Dominic Calvert-Lewin back tomorrow is huge. But you feel tomorrow is one of those games that, see, you look at it really, I think Palace are on 36 and 12th. They could go above Chelsea depending on goal difference over the weekend. That's mental. Wolves on 34, Bournemouth 33, West Ham 31. Then you're into the mix really as far as I can see it. Leeds on 29, Everton and Forest on 27, Leicester on 25, and Southampton on 24. Anyone who can string a win and a draw, 4 points from the next 2 games, anybody can. That table looks very different then, and as Palace have shown, you get a run of 3 games, you get 3 wins on the bounce, you're out of it, you're safe, and that goes for everyone.
But when you look at the one thing you look at Everton is, yes, Calvert-Lewin's back, but how fit's he going to be? He ain't fit, so you're only going to get, if you're lucky, an hour out of him, and we've seen this season. He's back for 2, out for 6. Just how Bamford's the same for Leeds, but Leeds have sort of found a little bit of a way of getting a few goals until the last couple of games. But I think if Calvert-Lewin picks up another knock again, I just don't see what they're going to do because they've got a young kid, Sims, who looks a talent, but he's 18. He's a kid. That's a lot of pressure to put on him. Mopé's hopeless.
Yeah. I think Everton are done either way. Whether they go down this season or they go down next season, it's one of the two. If they stay up this season and get a transfer ban, they're screwed.
Yeah, because that's what's not enough.
Yeah, if they go down this season and the Championship could levy points deduction on them because they're a lot more strict, a lot more stringent on their financial fair play rules than the Premier League are.
Yeah,
if a points deduction carries over to that one, then God knows anything could happen. But as I see it, I think Everton could go down. I think Leicester could go down. Probably Southampton. But ask me again.
You're being nice, Kev, aren't you? You're being nice.
But the thing is, with Forest, and because I've watched a bit of Forest, they're erratic, but they've got pace up front, and there is experience in that side. You know, you've got proper players. It's just a case of grinding something out. You know, building confidence and grinding something out and taking a chance when it comes. When you got a player like Brennan Johnson who can turn defenders and pace scares the shit out of people, then you've got a chance. That's all you can do. I mean, you got Keylor now. If I told you 2 years ago you're going to have Keylor Navas in goal at the City Ground, you'd be like, "What's he on? You know, can I have some? Can I have some?"
Kevin, 2 years ago, I was thinking about League One football.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's it. So it just goes to show. And as we've seen with Palace, it doesn't take much tweaking to get something out of games. And once you stumble across something, anything, and this goes for every team that's down in that neck of the woods. You've seen it with Wolves. Wolves are struck upon something and knocked a couple of results together, and they look safe now. All it takes is a run of form, couple of games, bounce of a ball goes for you, early red card goes for you. Anything can happen. It's so wide open. I wouldn't be putting my money on anyone at this stage. I just can't pick it, and that's the truth. I can't.
And the big elephant in the room is it's been widely reported. Whatever's going to happen to Everton is going to be announced before the season's over.
Yeah,
because they say it's only one charge. So is that a transfer ban? Okay, it doesn't fit this year. It's next year. If it's a points deduction, all of a sudden, if they get a points deduction, that's pretty much
all bets are off.
That's I would say that's them gone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, even if you're Southampton at the bottom, you're then going, I've only got to catch. It's only now 2 I've got to overtake, not 3. All of a sudden, that gives you a different wind and a different mentality because it's like the gap doesn't look as big. There's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And look, for if you're Everton fan and Everton club, you're going, well, what do we need to stay up? Because we might get enough points to stay up and then find out we get a points deduction. So, you know, it's a weird thing. But let's do a couple of quick fire scores and then we'll get into the Forest Liverpool game. Jafar, what have you got for Fulham versus Leeds?
I got 2-2 on that one.
2-2. I've got 2-0 Fulham. Ben, what have you got for Fulham Leeds?
Fulham will win 2-1 because Leeds are still. Okay. I know the form's not been great, but I think Fulham will win 2-1.
Okay, Kev, what have you got for Fulham Leeds? You're on mute, mate.
3-0 Fulham. Yeah, I can't believe how bad Fulham were the other night, or how bad Leeds were the other night.
Yeah, I'll stick with you, Kev. Brentford versus Villa. I've gone 1-1.
I think Villa will get a win, 2-1.
Ben?
What was it? Was that? What game?
Brentford Villa.
1-1.
Johor?
Pains me, but Villa 3-0.
Okay, I'll stick with you. Palace versus the Blues.
I'll go with Roy. I think he's doing great. 2-1 Palace.
Oh, don't go overboard now. Ben?
2-1 away win.
Oh, you won't be coming back on then. I'm only messing. Kev?
Oh, God. Hang on. 1 sec. Yeah, Palace 3-0.
I've got 3-0 Palace as well.
Yeah, that open attacking football that Hodgson is famous for will flourish at Selhurst Park.
It's so wrong to say that, isn't it?
It's disgusting.
So
disgusting.
Last one, the relegation one's Kev. Bournemouth versus West Ham. West Ham after big Europa Conference League win. So they're into a semi-final now against Nice, is it?
I think so. Yeah, that'd be a good game as well.
I think it's of the other teams got it. That's probably the most favourable one they could have got. So they have got a chance for European final.
I think West Ham will win the Conference League, but I think Bournemouth will beat them 1-0.
Oh, okay, I've got 2-1 Bournemouth actually. Jafar?
Oh, 1-0 Bournemouth.
Ben?
0-0.
0-0.
Boring. It's gonna be boring.
Okay. Right, and last one before we go on to the other game is Newcastle, who are third in the form guide against Spurs, who are 11th. I feel like Spurs have been 11th in the form guide, Kev, for about 3 weeks. Yeah. What are you going for that one? Just quick fire score.
Quick fire score, Newcastle 3-2.
Okay. Jafar?
2-1 Newcastle.
I've got 2 on Newcastle. Ben, what have you got?
2-1 Newcastle.
There we go. So we're all thinking Newcastle are going to win. Right, let's talk about Liverpool versus Forest. So just to give you a bit of an update of where we're up to then. So Liverpool, current form, 10th in the last 10th. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. Forest are currently bottom of the form table. Liverpool's home record is 3rd. Liverpool's away record is atrocious. Forest's away record currently is the worst in the league. Last time we played Forest, we got beat 1-0.
Yeah, can we talk about it?
We can do in a minute. Liverpool couldn't hit the barn door and Forest took the chance, and fair play because Kev, it's been the story of our season away from home. Yeah. We're absolutely atrocious away from home. Yeah. In terms of players out, so Liverpool have got no Ramsey, no Bajcetic. Firmino, we've just been told now, is out for at least the next 2 to 3 games, which is a bit of a shame because he's come to the end of his Liverpool career. Keita, the walking injury is still not about. There's no return date for him either. Do you get the impression, Kev, we're not going to see him at all now?
Oh dear, what's a pity. Never mind.
Well, bodies could be handy.
No.
And then for you, I think for you guys, Ben, you've got quite a few. I think Colback is a doubt. I think all the other guys who are out injured, I don't think any of them are due back, are they?
We got that 14 players injured.
Yeah, I must admit, I was right now going, this is a big old list. This.
We got no, I don't think Colback's injured. No, Colback's not injured.
It had him on Premier League as a doubt. It just said knock.
He'd be a knock. I think he'll be in the squad tomorrow, but I don't think he'll start. If I'm honest, but it's a long journey.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling about tomorrow then?
You said, Chris, our away form is the worst. But at the same time, Liverpool's form has been up and down. Every time they get a good result, like they beat Liverpool beat Man U 7-0, and then the next week you lost to Bournemouth. So if that can happen tomorrow, listen to me, I'm in cloud cuckoo because I've got. Listen, I was saying to Kevin on my show, like they hit the rivals in the 70s and 80s. Everyone knew about the history about it, and as you know, that we've not been in the Premier League for 23 years, so it's died down so much. Well, I've been looking forward to this game since the fixtures come out, and we've not.
You're getting up there as well, aren't you? You're up in Anfield tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm there tomorrow as well, and I'm excited. For the first time I've been there, so listen, I can't wait to get there, but it's gonna be tough. You've got a fantastic team, fantastic side. I was happy that you lot beat Leeds 6-1.
Not as happy as we were. We were all hoping for like a 1-0, weren't we, Kev? Just any way would be nice.
I was hoping that performance you did against Leeds doesn't come against us tomorrow, because if that happens and our way form continues going downhill, it could be another. Is it 9-0? We beat Bournemouth, or whatever the score was. It could it could go down that route. But this time, I just want to fight. I just want a team that fight. Our way forward, it's atrocious, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough but I want to fight, and I'd be happy with a point. If we get a 0-0, I'll still be happy, because that means Liverpool haven't beaten the season, and I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. Gary MC, what's this? Not even bothering to disguise your weird hatred of Keita now, I see. I don't know if that's aimed at me or Kev. It's not a weird hatred. He's injured.
I'll answer it there now.
He's injured a lot, as is Curtis Jones and a few others that we point out. So this weird thing that if you criticise a player, it's like, oh, you hate him. It's not. He's injured, and he's been injured most of the season. So and no one's talking about him, not even the manager, which sort of makes you think maybe he's done for the season because he's going anyway. I think that's why Ox isn't in the squad. I think Ox is fit, and he's just decided, well, he's not here next year, so what's the point of using him unless I've got an injury desperation? That's why they're giving the other guys a shout. But, each to their own. Go on, Kev, you carry
on. No, look, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock kickoff at Anfield as well, which is good. I'm enjoying watching how Klopp is trying to evolve this side. And it was interesting listening to his press conference today when he was talking about working on things with next year in mind. It's some of the, like DT saying there's top 4 still on. An awful lot has to go our way for us to be in with a shout of top 4. I think
we have to win every game, and you need a lot of looks go your way. Which
I think. I think any slim hope that we had of top 4 went with Bournemouth. The best that we can hope for now is put pressure on them, keep them honest. That if any of them do mess it up, which is very possible, pressure can do funny things to sides, as we've seen with Arsenal. That you're there to do something about it if they do mess it up. But the way Klopp is evolving this side with the role he's asking Trent to do, I'm enjoying watching that. I want to see how that evolves. And, the one thing I suppose you got to take is while he's doing this, if we get caught, if Trent does get caught out of position and someone can't cover the ground, you can't beat him up over it, because I was on there a few weeks ago saying just try something different, try something new. And in trying something new, they're going to mess up from time to time. So it's just one of those things. I want to see us evolve. I want to see a fight. I want to see bottle, heart, desire, commitment. And if we show all of that, a performance will come. And if we get a performance, the results are there. I've no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that gives us a bit of confidence is at home. Because to be fair, our home form
is good.
It's been good. I think we're 5th in the form guide at the moment, but we've played less home games than the teams who are actually ahead of us. The only thing I did do a bit of research, because there is this fear with Liverpool, because we've had a couple of really big wins, you think they don't want to back it up with a ballsing it up. But the United one's the only one we've actually ballsed up after doing a big win. Because when we did the 9-0 with Bournemouth, we backed it up with a 2-1 over Newcastle. When we backed Rangers, we backed it up with a win over City. It's 2 games later, we send it to Arsenal. So I'm comfortable because it's at home. And I don't know about you, Kev, but just go same 11 again. It's worked for the last 3 or 4 games. It's 1 game a week. Seems very little reason to change it. But if it isn't working or players start to look tired, the guys on the bench, Thiago, Nunes, etc., will be very fresh.
Yeah.
You can throw them on.
I don't expect to see Luis Diaz anytime soon. Not starting games. No. But I think it was telling in his press conference today, the way he was talking about Darwin Nunes, and we were saying it ourselves when the lineup was announced for the Leeds game. It's not what Darwin Nunes can give you on the ball and his finishing and the chances he gets and his pace. It's off the ball, the pressing. And you saw how we pressed the life out of Leeds when we won the ball so many times high up the pitch. Gakpo and Jota give you that. Salah gives you that.
It's Jota's strength. And Gakpo, I think it was said before we signed him, is he'd done a lot of coaching work to try and improve his defensive game, because that was his area of weakness.
And he said it's something that Darwin has to work on.
It is, and I still think
it will come. It will come, but it's trying to replicate what Bobby does naturally. Sides up and down the league are trying to find that forward who is your first line of defense, and it's probably the hardest thing to find in world football, is to find that forward who loves defending and who's very good at it. It's a very rare skill to have someone do it so naturally as Bobby Firmino did. We were spoiled with him because, as we've seen, trying to get someone else to come in and do it is very difficult.
I think Darwin is close we've seen to do a good impression of him, I would say.
Darwin is very unique in what he offers you with his pace and his raw power, but at the same time, Jota and Gakpo offer you something different off the ball, that having Darwin Nunes for 30 minutes at the end is a nice option to have. I wouldn't be surprised to see Thiago starting over Curtis Jones. The rest of the back four is fine, but I wouldn't expect any changes from the front three either. I think Jota and Gakpo start with Salah and maybe Thiago in for Curtis. But if Curtis starts, I'm not bothered. I'm fine with that. He started in the reverse fixture actually against Forest when he played in the midfield three with Fabinho and Harvey Elliott. That's when we were smack in the middle of a massive injury crisis, and you could tell it was raw and it was naive in how we played against Forest that day. But
Klopp does love a redemption story. My thing is, I'd either go unchanged because it's working, or if you do want to bring a Thiago in, I'd bring a Thiago and give Henderson a rest. I would sort of. Jones has not had a run of games, partly because of injuries, which has been a huge frustration. So if he's in form at the moment and he's done well in the last 2-3 games, sort of ride the crest of the wave and build his confidence up. So then next year, as long as he can stay fit, he's a more viable squad option because he looks like a lad who needs rhythm and game power. Because the pass he does for Jota's goal, he doesn't do that 2 games previous because he's so out of form and out of rhythm. He plays safe, which is what all players do when they're low on confidence. So I think that's what you need. Ben, how are you seeing it in terms of the lineup for Forest then?
I think Forest will play back three. I think that's where we started start of the season because we were just leaking goals left, right, and centre. So I think Forest will play back three. I'm not a fan of 2 midfielders. I prefer to play 3 in there because when we play 2 and the other team plays 3, we get bullied, and that's what's been a downfall this season. So if we played a 3-5-2 formation or 3-4-1-2, we get hammered. I think we played 4-3-3 when you lot came to the City ground, and I was like, I don't want to rub it in, but we beat you lot 1-0. But yeah, if we play that formation, I think Liverpool are going to actually hammer us. And I do remember Mo Salah played as a number 9 that time, and I don't think he's effective there. If he plays as a right winger and plays like he did against Leeds, we're also in trouble for the whole 90 minutes. But we need to. I want to battle. We put effort, fight, and everything in that game tomorrow. But it's going to be a tough afternoon for Forest.
Jahor, how are you seeing this game?
Yeah, I think like you've said, Liverpool have got this sort of upturn now, and I think the key to your success and our success at the moment is down to a structured lineup. Like you said, you've had the same starting 11 for 2 games in a row, and that sort of breeds confidence and sort of that basic element on the pitch allows people to understand where players are, and which makes things a little bit easier. So I can only see Liverpool coming out on top, really, because Forest are just. I don't want to be too down on Forest because it feels like kicking a dead horse, to be honest, because it's not good. But yeah, I mean, I hope Morgan Gibbs White plays really shit again. No. Sorry, I had to get it in.
In fairness, you got good coin for him. Sold him. He sold well. Fair's fair.
Yeah. He's a good player, man. Come on, you just marred it because you lot was giving him stick. So
it was a bit of both, but it's just funny because he tried so hard in the game against Wolves, and then against the Villa, he was tracking back and walking for the Watkins goal. I couldn't stop laughing. But yeah, I reckon
when you get local rivals together,
it is what it is. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's like when you watch your mum and dad argue, you're like, just sit quietly, I don't think it goes away in a minute.
I just wanted to quickly ask Ben before we wrap up. If Forest go down, how much of the squad that was assembled at the start of the season will he be able to keep the bulk of it together to come back up? Because I don't think it'll be massive wholesale change, but you think, one, can the manager survive? And 2, if he keeps the bulk of that squad, is our Forest capable of keeping the bulk of that squad together, wage wise, income wise? How would that work? Because he did heavily invest in the summer, had to, but he did heavily invest.
I'll start with Steve Cooper because let's put in context, right? 12 managers have left, right? 12 managers have left, and then he's been under pressure because the Premier League is really hard, and people need to think it's his first time as a Premier League manager, so it's going to be so difficult for Steve Cooper to stay. When he leaves Forest or whatever happens, he's still going to get a better job because he reminds me of like a Potter as well. Because Potter doesn't look weird. He was at Chelsea, but he was I think he went the wrong time at Chelsea, if I'm honest. But we've got Steve Cooper, he's under pressure. With players, we all know that if we get relegated, Brendan Johnson's definitely be one of them.
Yeah.
But I've got a good relationship with his mum and dad, and he loves the club. But if Forest get I don't know, 30 or 40 million for him, well, that 40 million is a bit too much, but if we get that 25 million to 30 million for him, then he'll go. And but I personally think with the owner, he's backed us. He spent 150 million. He's cleared a 40 million debt as well, and you got to say, wow, this owner means business with the company. He wants Nottingham Forest to do well. I don't know if you know, he owns Olympiacos as well, but he's put his money where his mouth is, and there's going to be a few players leaving at Forest because that's what happens. All the good players at the club, they want to progress their career. We can talk about Morgan Gibbs White. He would potentially to be good, but the last 2 months he hasn't been great for Forest. But he's learning. It's his first time in the Premier League, so hopefully he can stay. But yeah, there's a few players that I think will definitely leave Forest. Like I said, we've got 30 players at the club, so there's going to be 1 or 2 players leave if we do go down.
Yeah, the thing is, I think if you cut the fat around some of the players that go and keep the core together, keep a bulk of 18 players, 19 players, and then add from there. Forest, when they come back up next time around, if they go down, and look, in all likelihood, I think it probably will. It's very possible that Forest do go down. When they come back up next time, they'll be in a much better position squad-wise because they'll have the experience of it and they'll know what they're walking into. Unlike this season with a brand new squad from virtually day one. It's probably the most difficult job that any manager would have had in the league is to keep Forest up, given the amount of player business that was done in the summer. If Cooper can pull it off, it'll be one of the biggest achievements I've seen from a Premier League manager in a long, long time. That's just the truth.
He's been under pressure. All the pundits, even TalkSport, Killer Kaswina said he would be the first manager to get sacked. 12 managers in, he's still at Forest. He could have got sacked against Leicester when we lost 4-0, but then gave him a new contract. So listen, he's a top manager, and whatever happens to him, he'll get a better job somewhere.
Kev, apparently, breaking news. Apparently, Bob, the Mail report, Bobby Firmino's agreed to join Barcelona in the summer. That's his next move, apparently.
Do you know what? If I honestly expected it to be Roma or Inter Milan,
I thought Italy actually,
but Spain and the style of football that Barcelona play, the fact that Depay will be going in the summer and he won't play every week, he'll play a role within a squad. I think it could be an absolute dream move.
Barcelona are free, don't they, at the moment?
They need a free. They do need a free. But what a move for Bobby. You know, Brazilian, the links that Brazil have with Barcelona, the great Brazilians that have played at Barcelona. Firmino is good enough. He's still only 31. You know, he's got a lot of mileage in his legs, but he's also got a lot of experience in his head. And the Spanish league and the way that Barcelona play, that could be an absolute dream move for him. If he can get 2 years more football in Barcelona, win a La Liga title, go well in the Champions League, but all the best to look to him. I hope that that's the move. I do. I genuinely do. I hope that that's the move.
Yeah. Ben, what score are you going for?
Oh, Chris, you had to, didn't you?
Well, you know, I like to upset you.
What did I say last time when we beat you? When we beat you like 1-0?
I think you probably said 1-0, 1-0 probably.
No, I sure said Liverpool will win 3-1. Well, that one. It's gonna be tough.
I think you were bullshit. I think you were for at least a draw last time because of our record at your ground wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
It isn't great, to be fair.
It isn't great, but I've got to say, I think Liverpool will win. I'll be stupid enough to say Forest will win. I want Forest to win. If I do, I'll get drunk. I'll drink the JD. I'll drink it all night.
I might do that myself.
Okay, I think Liverpool batter us. I think it'll be 5-1. I think we'll score.
And Dick has said the Stan Collymore derby.
Stan Collymore derby.
What have you got for score prediction?
I'll go for 4-0 Liverpool.
Okay. Kev, what are you going for?
I think I'll win for 3-0. I think 3-0. Yeah.
Okay. You know the rule, Kev.
3-0 or 3-1. Jota will get on the score sheet. I hope he's got his shooting boots back on. I expect Salah, and I hope we get something for a set piece. I hope we get something from a corner. We got to get back scoring from set pieces.
Well, Salah is 1 goal short of equaling Robbie Fowler's goal scoring record.
Yeah. He's not happening against us. Not against us. He's not scoring past us. Not a chance.
And he's 3 away from Steven Gerrard's record, which is mad in the time frame he's done it in.
Well, the fact that Gerrard from central midfield got that many goals is nuts. But the fact that Mo Salah is doing it from the right wing and he's about to go level with Robbie Fowler. I mean, come on. That is just insane. Insane.
Exactly. I think I had 3 now as well. I've got Salah, Gakpo, and I think Darwin might get another one. So, but we'll see how it goes. So, before we go, we are sponsored by bookmakers.com. So, details are in the description below. There are bookmakers, they'll find you the best odds they can. If betting's not your thing, you don't need to. If it is, bet responsibly. But also check out their YouTube channel. Gav does a show in there once a week, just talking general footy. I think Kev, you may have both been on it.
Yeah.
You did. You did the relegation battle. I did the title. So far, my prediction's not looking so stupid so far.
So, I'm looking like a right clown. Don't worry about it.
Listen, mate, we do that every Friday. There's nothing new there.
Oh, yeah.
And also, don't forget our charity partner, which is Breast Cancer Awareness. 12 Dublin ladies are running the Dublin Marathon. So we're trying to raise them 20k because unfortunately cancer affects far too many people. So this is money that will go towards breast cancer awareness. So again, we know times are hard. If you can donate, details in the description below. Please donate. If you can't, just share it around your WhatsApp groups because look, you never know who it touches, and look, every little helps. As Kev says, it's the 5s and 10s that get us there. But listen, before we go, Ben, where can everyone find you? Thanks for coming on.
My channel is Toronto. It's above me. Like I said, I follow Forest all around the country. I do previews, review shows. I do interviews with ex-Forest players, and I don't want to mention ex-Everton player Kevin Campbell as well on the show. So I interview loads of Forest players, like Ian Wodes at Everton as well, Steve Stone. So cool. Quite a lot of interviews. But yeah, if you want to subscribe, people, just follow my channel. Like I said, I'll be outfield. I'll be at Anfield tomorrow, first time there, and I'm doing my usual content as well. So if you want to follow me, easy. Just click the button and subscribe to Toronto.
Cool. And Jafar, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, the Jafar Show on pretty genuinely any social, but yeah, Wolves Fancast is where we are. Are you all right if we plug our charity?
Yeah,
of course you can.
I was going to ask you to do that.
So yeah, Wolves Fancast. We're doing a charity football game at Molineux at Wolves Ground on June 2nd, and that's going to be raising money for Mind. As you say, with cancer affecting a lot of people have really struggled with mental health over the last couple of years, coming out of COVID and coming back into what is normal. So, with one thing we wanted to do is we wanted to raise a little bit more awareness about mental health struggles and how football can bring people together. So we've got a Wolves Fancast versus Upload United. So it's a mixture of content creators from all across the Premier League, from all the different clubs. And, we're going to help to raise some money and put on a good event that, could hopefully raise some good awareness for mental health needs.
Good. Well, if you send us details, I'm sure we can get that retweeted out.
Perfect.
So, people, if you follow that, give to that as well, because Jafor's right. Mental health is a big thing these days.
Yeah.
And if you're in the Midlands,
go and watch it.
Go and watch it. Go and support on the day.
Come and have a laugh at me trying to play football.
See if those who talk...
Can't be any worse than watching me and Kev trying to play football, to be fair.
No, definitely not. Not at my age.
Yeah. And Kev, just on a separate thing, which I need to get my act together and get another women's show sorted. I do know that because I've had grief off everyone for it. So I will get it sorted. Big game for the women as well on Sunday, playing Brighton, who are second bottom. So I think the women are one more win away from probably comfortably securing security for next year in WSL. So that's also a thing. So keep an eye, because you'll probably see me taking over the LFC Daytrippers Twitter account to give you score updates. So it's another thing to keep an eye out for. Right, guys, until then, thanks very much for joining us. Everyone, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you all very, very soon.
Up the Reds!